Hello everyone, I am Nitij, and in this video we are diving into an exciting tutorial on how to implement dynamic theming in your React applications using Tailwind CSS. So let me first show you what we will be building in this video. This is a normal form with first name, last name and a button, and there are 4 buttons over here with the text theme 1, theme 2, theme 3 and theme 4. Now when we will click on any one of these buttons, then the theme which is associated with this button or with this selection is going to be applied to our entire page. So for example, when I will click on theme 2, then the color scheme of all the styling information is going to be changed. Let's click on theme 3, then a different set of colors are set. Click on theme 4, then a separate set of colors are set. Again, click on theme 1, then we have the default theme now. If I will select theme 2 and I will refresh the page, then we will see that the theme selection is persisting across page refreshes, and that is simply because we are saving the currently selected theme in the browser's local storage. So if a user selects a theme on your web application and they come back, then they will find the same selection applied again, which is a big plus. Now let's see how we can implement this dynamic theming in React using Tailwind CSS. So why Tailwind is a good choice to implement dynamic theming? It is because Tailwind provides us Tailwind config.js, which we can use to add configurations to extend the theming information, such as to add the custom colors for all the different theme elements, such as background colors, border color, text color, etc., which we will be doing in a moment. And with React, the benefit is of the centralized state management and the component based structure of the front end. So in our React application, the first thing that I will do is to create a folder for our theme context. So we will be using a theme context to get to know in our child components which is the currently selected theme. So for that, I will create a new folder with the name contexts, and inside it create another folder with the name use theme, or you know what, we can also call it as theme context because I think it makes more sense. Now inside this theme context, I will create a new file with the name index.js. So with theme context, we will do 2 things. First, we will create a theme provider and we will create a theme context, and then we will export both of them. Let's create the function for the theme provider. So export const theme provider equals to an arrow function with children, and with this theme provider we are simply going to return the theme context.provider, but we don't have the theme context yet, so let's create one for ourselves. So to do this, I am just going to create the theme context. So const theme context is equals to create context. By doing this, we will create a new instance of the theme context, and then we can use it inside theme provider function when we are going to import the component. So let's do that. So theme context dot provider, and we can render the children. So sorry, children. Now we are going to create a state variable in the theme provider with the name theme to get to know which is the current theme. So const theme and then set theme equals to use state, and the default theme that we are going to use is theme 1. So I will be naming them as theme 1, theme 2 and so on. Next, we are going to need use effect to have a callback when this provider component loads for the first time. So I am going to add a dependency array over here. Now in this use effect, the saved theme can be fetched from the local storage. If we have a saved theme, then we will fetch its value. Otherwise, we are going to use the default value, which is theme 1. So const saved theme equals to local storage dot get item, and the name of the local storage item is theme. If it is not found, then we can revert back to a default value, which is theme1. All right, now when we have the saved theme, then we can simply call set theme function for our theme state variable. So this can be set with the saved theme. All right, this is done, but now let's also create another function to toggle the theme. So any child components, they will be able to toggle the theme using this context. So const toggle theme equals to, this is an arrow function, and we need the argument for the new theme value. So new theme, so we will simply call set theme with this new theme, and then we will also save it in the local storage so that when the user comes back, then they will see their previous theme already applied. So the name is theme and then the value is new theme. Okay, finally we have to provide these values, theme and toggle theme, as the value for our provider. So value, value equals to an object. We are going to provide theme and toggle theme. Okay, so we have to export one more item, and that is the theme context. So for that we will just write export const use theme equals to a function which is going to return the return value of use context by providing the theme context as an argument. And this is how we can implement the theme context. Now the next thing that I am going to do is to work on the Tailwind config. So I will show you how we can implement dynamic theming using Tailwind config, and for that I am just going to add new properties to the theme extend object. So we have to decide for which items of CSS or which properties of CSS we need the theme overrides. So I am going to add theme overrides for background color, for border color, and for text color. So let's do that. So background color. So for background color we can have another object, and I'm going to write the color override for theme1. So color theme1 with the value of, now I have already prefetched all the color values that I'm going to use for this tutorial. So for color for theme1, this is the color value. Now for our card color for the theme1, we are going to have another property. So color card theme1, this color value is going to be this one. And finally for the hover color of this theme1, I am going to add another property. So color theme1 and then hover, the property value is going to be for theme1, it is this one. Here comes the part for border color. So for border color, let's create another object, and I'm just going to name it as color theme1, the property, and then the value for the color is going to be it's going to be this one. And lastly, let's have the theme color override for text color. So for text color, I am creating another object with the property color theme1. So it will be preferable to use a common format for all the property values so that we can maintain some standards across our code base related to coloring of the theme. So for this one, I am again going to use the same color. So let's do that. Alright, so after we have provided the overrides when we are extending the theme, then for Tailwind we also have to provide a safe list. Now if you don't know already, what Tailwind does is it scans your content, which is in this content path. It matches all the files for the extensions that we have given, and it generates all the utility classes that we have actually used. It is not going to generate the utility classes which are not being used anywhere to maintain performance across the application. So the problem with our theming can be if we are going to dynamically name them based on the saved theme name, then Tailwind is not going to recognize what the actual classes or the what actual utility classes it needs to generate for the background color theme 1, as an example, for example, border color theme 1, and text color theme 1. So what we need to do is we need to provide a safe list so that Tailwind can know which utility classes from the safe list it has to always generate. But there can be another problem, and that can be that we cannot specify all the classes that we have created in the extend object to extend the theme for different themes. There can be like hundreds of different property names over here. So what we can do is we can provide pattern matching to safe list, and this is a feature which Tailwind provides. So for instance, for text color, what we can do is we can provide a pattern so that Tailwind is just going to identify the pattern of utility classes from the safe list, and it is going to generate the all the classes which are matching that pattern. So to generate the pattern, what we have to do is I'm just going to write text color first, and then so text and color, and then we have to write the theme name. So for theme name, I'm just going to write theme 1. Now similarly we can create more patterns. So for example, for BG color we can have a pattern like this. Instead of text color we can have BG. For the background color card we can create another pattern, and for that we can simply write BG color and then card, matching the naming convention that we are using. Now for hover, what we can do is we can use the same pattern, but then we can provide a variant value for the Tailwind state. So variants, and then we can write hover over there. Unless we do that, this pattern is not going to be generating any class for the hover state. And then finally we can provide the border color, and this should be everything that needs to be done for theme 1 in our Tailwind config. And now it's time to test the theming, and for that I will create two components. The first one is going to be a theme switcher, and the second one is going to be the component where we will be using the theme. So in the src folder I will create a new folder with the name components, and then I will create two folders over here. The first one is going to be theme switcher, and the second one is going to be, let's call it user info component. So for theme switcher I will create a new file inside it with the name index.jsx, and let's first generate the arrow function component. The first thing that we need to do is we need to import the use theme where it is use theme context, and let's also set the name as theme switcher. Hold on, theme switcher is going to be exported as well, and we are going to destruct the toggle theme function. So toggle theme function and the theme state variable from the use theme context equals to use theme, and after this we can add the buttons for different themes. So I am just going to use this existing div to add the buttons. So div and then button. Now on click of this button we can call the toggle theme function. So toggle theme, and then we have to provide the argument for the theme name, so theme 1, and similarly we can set the button text as theme 1. Now how do we style this button using the theme which is selected? And for that I'm just going to create a constant with the name button classes. This is going to be a template string. The first thing that we will be setting is the text color. So this can be achieved by simply writing text color and then the theme name. So text color theme. And the second dynamic class that I am going to set is the border color. So replace text with border. And what else? Yep, we are going to need the hover background color as well. So for the hover state I'm going to set the hover BG color. And yep, these are the dynamic values that we are going to set. And now I'm just going to set all the remaining classes. Those are just standard classes to style the button. So after all the classes have been set, we can simply use the class name attribute or class name value. So just provide button classes as its value. Let's just save it. So our theme switcher for toggling to theme 1 is ready, and now it is time to implement the user info component as well, so that we can see the switching of the themes in action. So for the user info, I am going to create index.jsx file, and let's generate the arrow function component. I am just going to call it as user info. So for user info component, I am just going to add the basic pair of inputs and a button to save the values, which is just a dummy button. So these are the inputs and this is the button. Now similar to what we did for the toggle buttons, first we are going to import the import the use theme context, and we are going to fetch the name of the theme only this time, because we don't need to toggle the theme from the user info component. So to do that, I'm just going to deconstruct theme state variable by calling use theme. And first let's set the background for our parent div, and this is going to be a card. So for this card styling, I am just going to use a template string. First let's set the background color, which is going to be dynamic based on the theme. So bg color card and then the theme name, and then I will just add rest of the classes for this card, and we can also add the classes for the input and the button as well. So because we have two inputs, I am going to create a const input classes equals to a template string. Actually we don't need a template string for the inputs because we are not using dynamic theming for the inputs. So class names, class name is this one, input classes. Now for the button, we can provide a class name with dynamic theme colors. The first one is going to be the text color. Now I am just going to copy the class values which we have been using for the toggle button. So now our user info component is also ready, and now it's time to use the theme switcher, the user info and the theme context within app.js. So for that, the first thing that I will do is I will remove everything from over here which is being returned, and also let's remove the logo as well. Now first let's import the theme provider and also the theme toggle. Import, what was the name of the component? Let me just check. Theme switcher, sorry, not theme toggle. Okay, so theme switcher and then import user info. Now as a parent, I am going to use theme provider. For its children, we can use theme switcher and then the user info, but let's just also add some more styling as well to build the layout of this app. So I have added two more divs. The first one is going to place the items in the center, and the second one is going to provide a flex call layout. And now it's time to test our code if it is working as expected. So I'm just going to write npm start in the terminal and press enter. Okay, so in the console I can see an error which says objects are not valid as a React child. I think I know from where this error is originating, and this should be in the theme context from where we are returning children. Alright, so I think this should be like this. So I checked and I have found a couple of issues which are there in our config file. So the first thing that we need to do is the pattern for border color does not have a card color, so I have added it by mistake. So I'm just going to remove it from over here, and also card needs to be removed from over here as well, because for bg color we are going to have the hover color for theme 1. And there is one more thing that we need to do over here, and that is to provide -hover in the pattern matching, because there is -hover added to to color theme 1 for the background color for the hover over here. So the patterns should match exactly with the names that we are using. Now let's save it, and in the theme switcher as well, I have to use for the hover bg color, I have to use -hover over here, and the same thing needs to be done for the user info button as well. So for user info button, I am going to add -hover over here as well. Now let's see if that fixes our issues. Alright, so now hovering is working as expected, but this is currently only for theme 1. Now let's extend this functionality for 3 more themes, theme 2, 3 and 4. And for that, the first thing that I will do is in the theme switcher, I will add 3 more buttons, and in the toggle theme, I will simply provide different theme names, theme 2, 3 and 4. And we also have to provide a separate set of colors as well for Tailwind config. First, for background color, it's going to be these values, and let's add the border color properties, and then the text color. So we have added multiple color property names for different themes. Similarly, we have to update our pattern matching as well. So we have to write theme 2, theme 3 and theme 4. So it simply means that this area or this part can be any one of these values. If it is, then it has to generate the utility class for all of the names which are matching with this pattern. So let's use the same values for all the patterns. Let's save it, and now it's time to test it. So we have theme 1, theme, okay, we have to update the labels as well. Let's do that too. So theme 2, 3 and 4, and the spacing for the button is not working because we have not added any class. So what I'm gonna do is, let's just quickly add class, so flex, and then flex row, and then gap x2. Let's save it. Now we have the gaps. Click on theme 2, it is switching, theme 3 is also switching, theme 4 is also switching. So this is how we can implement dynamic theming in our React application by using Tailwind CSS. I hope this tutorial has been insightful and helps you in your future projects. Remember, theming is not just about aesthetics, it's about creating an inclusive and user-friendly environment for your audience. If you found this video helpful, then please consider subscribing to this channel for more content like this. Stay tuned for more tutorials and tips in web development. Thank you for watching, and happy coding.